welcome to Randi Sands and the mediumship crew. We hope you've had a good week and we're excited for tonight because we are going to be chatting about how spirit shows up in photos. Because spirit does show up in photos, and we've got some pretty good ones tonight. Um, I'll talk about some of my experiences, and then everybody can kind of chat, and then we'll start showing pictures. So, a typical way is orbs, but spirit can show up in many forms. You'll see a picture tonight in Lilydale by the stump where I was at a midnight healing, and I just started shooting pictures at night, which I do a lot when I'm there. And there's two big crystals coming up out of the ground that there's people in here tonight that go there will tell you that those crystals aren't there. And there's just so many ways. There's a picture of a lady coming up out of the ground in one of these pictures. There's so many ways. So I want to open the floor up for everybody to talk about some of the things that they've seen in photos or they've captured in photos that is clearly spirit. Okay, we got less than crickets.
Okay, I'll start. I'll start. I took one picture that was really spectacular, and we have it to share. I was watching Dan Chesbrough do ordinations, and he literally changed from one photo to the next. And then the photo that we're going to show you, it's just spectacular how you can see spirit just going through him. So cool. I don't know. You want me to show that one?
We'll do it later when we show them all, because we'll just start going in succession and we'll talk about them. Okay. But I just wanted everybody to have a chance to talk about how it's happened for them.
I remember when I was young, my uncle lived in this old house and it was haunted, and it was a little child spirit that was in the house. And it would always play with my little cousins and stuff. I remember being a teenager, I'm the oldest out of my generation. So I'd go to my uncle's house for the night, and the kids would be like, his youngest would be talking to something, and then the door would close itself and like all kinds of stuff. And it was a little boy, like you'd see it clearly, it'd show itself. And we knew for sure it was a little boy once because it was around Christmas, and they had taken a picture by the Christmas tree and all that. And there was a little boy that should not have been in the house in the picture. And they were like, we don't know how that, it was actually right outside a window though, but the window, like there was no ground. It was like up. So there's no way I could just be standing out of a window. You'd have to have a ladder to be seen outside of that window or something. And I wish I could have got a hold of him for the picture, but I didn't. But it was freaky, and that was when I was younger seeing that.
Well, if you can ever get a hold of it, do so, and we'll put it up. Anyone else?
I know, like 6 years ago, my sister took a picture of my mom, and above my mom's head was we call it her other person, but now we, learning more about stuff, I would say it's like one of her guides. We're trying to find the picture right now, but it's literally like another person right above her head.
Yeah, you guys will get to see in one of the pictures, you'll get to see my gatekeeper. Tammy, you got anything?
Yeah, the day after my dad died, I went outside. It was very snowy outside and beautiful. And I took a picture. Well, I took many pictures like I do, and came back in the house. And when I came in the house, I saw I had asked him to give me some signs. So when I looked through the pictures, there was a huge blue orb in the tree. And also that day came a feather on my floor in my living room that was also blue, that happened to pop up and turn over and lay back down. But like Sebastian, my first encounter with spirit was my great grandmother after she passed away. And it was I was woke up in the middle of the night and saw her outside my second story window. And she had her hands crossed like this, and she had a ring on that I had lost and hadn't been able to find. And she had left it on my nightstand after I went screaming to my parents, about seeing grandma in the window. And of course, they told me I didn't. But also, my husband and I do spirit investigating of haunted buildings. And we've gotten so many different voice phenomena on digital recorders. You'll see the picture tonight in the creepy, I call it the creepy room, because it was a room that was in this church that we investigated for a full year every week on a Tuesday night. And this room was off the charts as far as energy goes. There was a vault in that room, a safe. And the fellow that evidently took care of the money for the church back in the early 1900s was still watching over that safe. So he would let you know of his presence when you were in the room. As a matter of fact, one day, my friend and I were trying to open the door so we could go in there and do some EVPs, and the door wouldn't open. And I kept like body slamming the door, turning the knob and body slamming the door, and it wouldn't open. And then, so all of a sudden, I go to body slam it one more time, and the door opened on its own, right? And I went flying into the room, and it scared me so much, startled me so much, because it wasn't even giving that door, that I jumped back outside the door and grabbed my girlfriend and shoved her in the room. She says, "What are you doing?" I says, "That scared the heck out of me."
You go ahead and die first. No.
Exactly. But we used to investigate in the dark, and we had the infrared cameras, so you could take pictures. And the one camera that we were using that night happened to take multiple pictures. When you just push the button down once, it would take picture right after picture, like within a second of each other. And in the creepy room, I was in there in the dark, talking on my voice recorder. And in the pictures that were snapped, one right after the other in sequence, you see the room is all clear. Then you see this big orb appears on the headboard of the bed that was in there. And after you see the orb, then you see the creepy guy that watches over the vault. You see his energy, which is a mist, right? Coming out from the left-hand part of the picture, you'll see. And at the same time that his energy starts moving towards me, you see behind me energy leaving my body, which I took as a protector of mine, moving towards that energy, that mist. And it was a mist too. So you had a mist on the left and a mist on the right. And all of a sudden you see them get real close together to each other. And by the end of the 5-second snap, you can't even see me in the room, because
We have that. We're going to see that picture tonight. I
two
took 2 out of everything you sent.
Yeah. And the two had come together, and the mist was so strong in this room that you couldn't even see me anymore. And I was clear as could be on the first shot. So that was pretty interesting. But voice phenomena, shoot, we would get 5 to 10 every single time that we would investigate there. So you'll hear voices on the other side as well.
I'm planning on going to the Fox family cottage over the summer at night and doing a sound meditation and then taking pictures at night.
It's gonna be
Excellent.
I always get I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed. Everybody hates going out at night, taking
Not me.
pictures with me.
I love it. I love it.
But so are we ready to start looking at some?
Sure.
Okay, so I haven't done
Hang on a
screen.
minute. Sorry.
Oh,
Yes,
let's.
I don't have pictures of this, but I want to tell you, my
Tell us,
dad.
honey.
You know, when I was little, my dad had a statue. It was a statue of an Indian. You know, an Indian, but it was just the head of it. And this thing was kind of cool, but also kind of creepy. And because I'm gonna tell you the reason why. We would put it one way, and the eyes would follow you. Wherever way you went, the eyes would follow. Okay. This thing would also smoke a cigarette. You could put a cigarette up to its lips, and you could see it puffing.
It would make it hot, huh?
So my aunt and uncle had it down there in Kentucky area. My dad brought it back up north. That's how we got it. So when he brought it back up north, my dad decided to take it all apart, take all the clay off. Well, come to find out, that was a real Indian head.
No.
Wait,
My
no.
dad got talking about it. My dad could have
Lester, why
gotten
can't we
serious.
see you?
Okay, here we go. Sorry about that. Okay, there we go. But anyhow, my dad went out and started talking about this Indian head to people, telling people what it would do. Well, next thing you know, we got people there, the big wigs checking it out. Well, come to find out, it was a real Indian head.
like a
Skull.
shrunken head? Like a shrunken head?
No, it was a full size head.
Like a
It
skull.
was the skull, the full
That's still
skull
pretty
was
big
still
for a
intact,
doll, though.
and it had clay over it.
How big was the doll?
like that. But it's supposed to be, from my understanding, it's supposed to be someplace either in Pennsylvania or in Virginia itself at a Indian museum.
Wow.
Wow.
But that thing was so creepy, like I said, because we even put it up with, as a child. I remember my dad putting it up into the closet at night.
How did he get that? How did he get that, Lester?
All I can say is my uncle had it, and I don't know where he got it.
You know what it makes me think of? Those people that do the forensic study of people when they get the skulls and they lay the little spacers on it and put
The
the
reconstruction.
clay over it. I wonder if that's how that came about.
I don't know
Or
how
if-
it actually. All I know is that they did verify that it was an actual Indian skull.
You went in a whole different direction than I was expecting. I'm not even going to lie to you. I was expecting, like, I know during the 1800s and the Victorian era, they used like real human hair for their dolls. Like they grow the little girl's hair
Right.
super long, cut it, and then their doll would have the same hair. So I was expecting that. You threw me for a whole surprise here.
Wow.
Well, like I said, it was an actual Indian skull.
Yeah, was it like a big doll? That sounds like it has to
No,
be.
no. It was just a head, and that's it. Just
Oh, wow.
right here.
Yeah. Wow.
You're
the
lucky it was only the eyes that followed you.
But again, like I said, it was literally, you could put a cigarette up to it, and you could see the fire, the cherry, and smoking it.
Oh my goodness. All right, we ready for the pictures?
Sure.
Now you guys are going to have to bear with me because I'm a little rusty at screen share. I haven't done it in a little bit. So let's hope that I do this correctly. Okay, so screen share. And I believe it's going to be, no, that's not, is it this one? Yes. Okay. Can you guys see that?
A
He
mountainside?
said, I see a mountainside with the
Yes.
water.
Oh, no. Here. Can you see that?
I see some orbs.
Yes.
Okay. This is actually quite interesting. I took this picture late at night in Lilydale at the Leolin. I had climbed up the fire escape
Mm-hmm.
and the area that had burned out, I had gotten this, and you're going to see a few of them from different trips because that's one of my regular haunts when I go out at night. You would not have seen any of this there. You would see a room with chairs. So, and look at this one right here, the purple one.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one. And this one I took on the ferry trail late at night, and there's actually a lady coming up out of the ground. If you look, you can see
Oh,
her
wow.
hand up above her head. Can you guys see my cursor moving?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
There's her head
Mhm.
and her body. And people have debates over whether these are wings or other spirit energy.
Kind of looks like a lady carrying a kid or something in her arm. Like this with the other one like that. Looks like there's two heads, kind of. Looks
Yeah,
like
it's
got a little one there, kind of.
but that
It looks
was
like an angel to me.
yeah, that's what a lot of people think, with the wings and
Okay, Tiffany just now typed out in the chat. She said the kids are loud, but I have a video from TikTok, from a TikTok filter in front of the mother-in-law urn, and the filter uh and the filter is a person needs a person or something in the screen to make the filter work. Oh, okay. You need a person for the filter in order for it to work. Can she send it to you on Facebook, Randy?
um it's kind of hard for me to get it now, but she can try.
Send it to me and maybe I can try with it.
There you go. There you go. Okay, so and these get a little better as we go, I think. So this one
Oh, wow.
this is my gatekeeper. She was 100% Chippewa Indian. She had a big hand in helping raise me. She passed when I was 15, and this picture was taken very close to her passing. And if you notice,
There's
there's
a
just a
fake.
huge orb right in front of her. And she's been amazing. She was very much a true Indian. She was raised on the reservation, and she instilled a lot in me. So I'm very grateful to have her as my gatekeeper. These next two were just very recent when I was in Oregon. And you've got this whole energy. And what's amazing is that just a minute or so later, we have this one where the energy actually shifted over. And, this bird, of course, took flight. Then, okay, I think we're getting into some of the more interesting stuff now. Okay, this is that room I was telling you about at the Leolin in Lilydale. This is what the inside of that room looks like at the top of the fire escape. But look at all these orbs. They're everywhere. So when you look at this one, and then you go back to this one, there's quite a difference. Now, this next one was again at the Leolin. And if I remember correctly, and I'm not going to swear I do, but if I remember correctly, I think that room had been like a dance. I think it was like a dinner and dance thing at some point. In this one, oh, I put the wrong one. Okay, well, there's still a bunch of orbs. I have one. We'll see later if I can find it. I probably won't be able to tonight. and you can actually see rainbow orbs, and there's a man and a woman dancing. I can't believe I pulled the wrong one. But still, I mean, the amount of orbs in that, it's just amazing. And let's see, what's this one? Oh, wait, is this it? Yes, this is it. Okay, so here you've got his head, his shoulder, his arm, his body. You've got her head, her neck. Back then they had the puffy sleeves, and then her body. And you've got all the rainbow orbs around them. Can you guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
This is one of my favorite pictures. Okay.
I was gonna point something else. But
What's
out to
that?
you. I was gonna point something else to you if you
Okay.
didn't see it.
There you go.
Okay, to the let's see. On to my right, it's showing an actual human face in there. So I don't know if it'll be your right too, but it's on the opposite side of the man and woman. So go from there.
On this side?
Yep, right there. Exactly where you're at, right there. I can see a side view of a face right there, a woman's face at that.
I'll have to look at it when we take it down because I've got a bright light, so I've got a glare. I'll have to take a look at that. So let's see what we have next. Okay, this is a picture that was taken, and I'm going to show you another picture that was taken literally seconds after this. So you guys see this picture, right? You see this? There's nothing over here, right? Okay, watch this. We just had 2 crystals come up out of the ground from one moment to another.
Oh, wow.
And Tammy and Colleen, you both know there is no crystal there. This was right after a midnight healing. And I just started snapping pictures. Let's see. What's this one? Oh, this one was just a bunch of energy. Again, in Lilydale, you can see, it's on the ferry trail. And there was nothing. And then out of the middle of nowhere, this one just appeared with all this energy. And this is another interesting Lilydale thing. Okay, I was at a sweat lodge by the beach in Lilydale, and this orb, no rhyme or reason, just there, right? So take notice where that is. Y'all see where it is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the very next frame.
Wow.
And what's interesting about this is that it's got all this energy around it.
And it turned green too.
Uh-huh. And that brings us to the last one that I'm going to show you guys for tonight. And this one was special. I was at the beach. It was early in the morning. I was out there by myself. And I thought it was pretty, so I snapped this picture. Now, do you see that green orb? That unexplained green orb?
Behind a rock.
Well, I took this picture.
No, I'm saying it should be it's in a shadow, so it's not even like it's something reflecting.
Right. I took this picture, and moments later, a gal friend named Donna Lisa, we've been friends for 30 years. She was actually one of my aunt's friends, and there was a whole group of women, and we all became friends. But she originally was my aunt's friend. I took this picture, and Donna Lisa and I have known each other like 30 years, but we hadn't spoke to each other in quite a while. Moments after I took this picture, I got a text message from her saying, "Hey, was just thinking about you. If you've got time to chat, I'll be driving for a while. This is my number." And I got on the phone, we chatted for hours. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, was my aunt paying a visit.
Oh, wow.
So I think that's all that I pulled for tonight because I didn't know how. Oh, wait, no, I lied to you. We have Tammy's pictures. They were hiding. Okay, so Tammy, the room you were talking about, here's one of the pictures that I chose, and this was that infrared camera. And I imagine that has got to be the orb you were talking about.
Yeah,
So,
that's the orb.
okay,
And
so let's look at the time and the date. And then, and I didn't mean to cut you off, Tammy. We're going to get back to it. I just want to keep focused.
that's okay.
Now look at a minute later.
Where'd she
There's
go?
so much. She's
What?
right here.
Here I am, right? Yeah, I'm right to the right, but the picture that is the best isn't the one that's here. And that's the one where there's the mist on the left-hand side, and it's pretty dense, and that was the energy of the fella that's guarding the safe. And
Why-
coming out of my back was actually like a plume of mist as well, and you can see it headed towards that fella's mist. And this is what happened when they both came together. It was so thick that you couldn't even see me anymore. And you
Let me
saw how clear the first picture was.
let me see if I can find it.
You know what I'm seeing in that picture right there, though, before you change it?
What's
What's
that?
that?
I see a female Indian.
That's me. That's the fringe on my, I had a leather like fringe jacket on.
You sure it's you?
Yeah, and I had feathers, matter of fact, in my ears.
Okay, let's see if this is it. Is that the
Yes.
one?
Okay, that's
There's energy here and here's
yeah, my
energy here.
energy's already come out of the back of me, and it's starting. This is the one right before the thick mist, but it's the one that was just before that one. That's where you can actually see it separate. It's mist and my mist.
I don't think.
See the jacket there, Lester? The
Yeah, I
Indian
see the
jacket?
jacket, but the face was a. I'm what I'm seeing. Because
Uh-huh.
even in this picture, I still see off to your. Well, on my side it's right, so I don't know what side it'll be for you on that.
Yeah,
But
it's
I
Oh,
see the person there, but when the picture gets switched over, the person's standing right in front of you. So it's
okay.
that might be the person
Oh.
or that's manifested in behind you, the spirit, and I'm just seeing it where you are when the next frame comes over.
yeah.
Because I don't see the fringe and stuff on the bottom at all in the second picture. I do see the Indian woman there though, because she got braids.
Hmm.
Let's see if I found that one.
Okay.
Is this it?
No, that was the same one. It should be the one right before that.
I sent it. Where is it?
Not that one.
Hmm.
Yeah.
One to the right of it.
No, that's
No,
not it.
that's the full one. And then the other one's the orb one. So maybe you didn't.
Um,
That's all right.
Maybe this one. Maybe. Is that it?
Yeah. See how the energy on the left-hand side is
Yeah.
like getting dense and thick? And if you look behind what would be my right shoulder,
Yep,
you
right
start
here.
to see the mist start to come up. And yeah, and then there's another picture where they move together, and then, yeah, it was
And
pretty amazing.
if you guys notice the time, it's all within 1 minute of each
1
other.
second.
I think it was a minute. I think there was one that was at 9:21, if I remember right.
I thought there were like 3 at 9:21 and then the last one at 9:20. So it had just changed.
Yeah. Colleen, do you want to share?
Sure.
And while Colleen's pulling that up, I'll tell you guys, I had an ex and we had a commitment ceremony together. And it was the most interesting thing because my mother and my niece was 2 or 3. And my mother and my niece and I took a picture and there was an orb right between us. And then when we left the house, and I'll have to look for these. If you look at the eave of the house, it looks like there's white Christmas lights all along the house, and there were no Christmas lights. Wow, look at that.
It's
So
awesome.
this was an ordination of a woman that was ordained the year after I was ordained, and I happened to assist Dan during this ordination. And so she was probably second to the last person he was ordaining. So think of the energy that was building up in that chair.
Yep.
And I did not see this when I was clicking with the camera, but this is what it captured.
Colleen, what's to the right of his head? That little brown cup
That is
looking thing.
there was a lamp. That's a lamp that was behind him.
It actually looks like it's in front of him.
I know but it was behind him. And you look at the series of photos, and I can't find them all. I could only find this one. But there's a picture just before this and a picture after it that I snapped. And it's just a normal picture. But this one, until I got home and started going through them, did I see this.
Look at that arm. That's really interesting.
It's very cool.
But if you look, you can see his head bowing.
Mm-hmm. And look at the energy ball. I know there's a lamp back there, but if this is the part of the lamp shade, this comes out of that field.
Mm-hmm.
It's rather amazing.
It's a really, really cool picture.
So spirit can show up. You can take it down now if you'd like so that I can see everybody.
Yes. Stop sharing my screen. Why won't it let me?
Maybe hit the X up at the top right and see what happens.
Stop share.
There we go.
I got Tiffany's thing too, but
oh, go ahead, put it up if you can.
Okay. Share screen. Yeah, here. Okay. Can everybody see this? So she was using a filter, and it moved the filter up to here.
Well,
But
I
if
think
you look at the-
I think what she was saying that was so particular about it is those filters. Usually, it'll be a blank screen until it picks somebody's energy up, and then
But
the
the-
filter
Right.
starts. So I think it's
Oh, I
because
see.
her urn is up there next to that angel. So the
Yes.
urn triggered the filter, is what she's saying.
Yeah.
Very
Oh,
cool.
wow.
See how the baby picks up the filter, but then when the baby's moved, the filter still picks up with the urn when it's not supposed to, is what she was saying.
Nice. Very nice. So that's, a lot of the ways that spirit shows up. And
Yeah.
I love going out at night and taking pictures because I never stop being amazed by the different things that I get. I have a picture that I'm not showing you guys on purpose because another gal had taken the same picture about, I don't know, a year or two before I took the picture. Of course, Lilydale, anything can happen. And she had seen the picture and she had showed me hers when she had taken it. And I showed it to my wife and deleted it because that's a habit. I never want to get my stuff confused with anybody else's. And like a year or two later, I had a group of people. We went out at night and we went on the ferry trail and stuff and we took pictures. And when we got back to Leolin, we were looking at them and that picture showed up. And I'm not going to show it because she had copyrighted it for Lilydale. And she and I got together and we really racked our brains. And it's like, look at, it's Lilydale. Anything can happen. Two people can get the same picture. And hers took up the whole frame. Mine was small. But it was funny because I started thinking, I know I took that picture. Did I not delete hers? What's going on? And then I was talking to a gal that worked maintenance in Lilydale. And the night that I took those, she happened to be working the desk at the Leolin and she was there when we all got back. And she goes, no, I was there. I remember because you guys were going through all the pictures you just snapped. So it's an amazing picture. It's very clear what it is. But out of respect for her and out of respect for the copyright, I told her that I would never, put it up. It's just something that I have. But anything is possible. And I'm going to tell people when you do go out at night and you're taking pictures of spirit, don't ever delete anything. Wait until you get home. Get it up on a big screen. The bigger the screen, the better. I can't tell you how many pictures I've probably deleted over the years because I took it on my phone and you expand it and you're looking and you don't see anything, you delete it. Well, one year I realized because I put them up on a big screen, I realized that there were things on my phone I couldn't see, but when it got on the big screen, I could see them. So, just a word of caution, don't delete any pictures until you get them up on a big screen where you can see them. Anybody have anything they want to say before we close?
I'd like to say that since, we capture the energy on film, you can also have it happen in your own home with the lights going on and off, with your TV coming on for no reason whatsoever, which all those things I've had. But also we have the battery operated candles, right? And because we're spirit investigators, we turn them so that the battery is just off, just barely off, so it's loose on top. And my husband communicates with them all. He'll get up in the morning and they'll be on. And he'll go through the gamut, which spirit's here today, and he asks, what spirit family member passed it, is here. And he will actually get the candles to turn on and off for yeses and nos. And, so there's all kinds of like little things that you can do to find out other than pictures with the energy. The voice recorders are great. Digital voice recorders. You don't hear these things with your own ears, but you listen back to them. And we've gotten full-blown sentences. We've got people yelling all kinds of things when there was nobody else even there, that we never even heard with our own ears until we went back and listened to them. So if you're at all interested, just check into these things and start tapping in and see what you come up with.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I had I mean, I have all the usual stuff, the lights, things turn on and off unexplained. But it was very interesting because my aunt, she was a retired bureau chief of the Department of Justice. And right before she passed, I went to Sacramento to visit her. And I turned her, I used to call her Aunt Go because I used to say she was so smart, she was one letter short of God. And I went to visit her and I turned to her. I have a picture of us laying on the bed together. And I said, Aunt Go, I don't want you to be scared. I said, because the only thing is you're going to shed your body. And she said, but my mind, I don't want to. I said, you're not going to lose your mind. It's going to stay the same. And we all laughed and joked that she was E.F. Hutton because when she spoke, you listened. As a kid, she learned to wait until I stopped moving because if she yelled my name, I would freeze and fall down mid-run and be bloody. And it was the first time that she was very like looking at me like I was the teacher. It was very interesting. She passed. The next night, I was out teaching a mediumship development circle and I came home. Everybody in the house was in bed asleep. I was the only person up. And I walked straight through the house to the enclosed patio and I was talking to somebody, and a man she had been dating who passed, he came in and I was giving her the reading. When I walked in, I looked down the hallway. Halfway down the hallway, sitting perfectly upright, was an apple. I looked at that apple. I said, I don't know which one of you it is, but I'm not dealing with you tonight. I'm going to bed. And I left that apple right there. It was impossible for that apple to get there from my kitchen, right?
Yeah.
The next morning I got up and I said, I think it was my aunt. So I called my dad and I said, listen, my aunt liked her Hershey bars. She liked her Marlboro cigarettes and her Pepsi, but did she like apples? Oh, yeah. We used to go to all the apple fests. Your aunt would put an apple in the microwave and eat it. I was like, okay, well, she was here last night. I was telling my wife about it. She goes, oh my God, I kicked your aunt. I said, no, you didn't. But it's amazing what they can do.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. And I remember one time my mother, I was a young adult, like 18, 19. And I went to my mother's house to spend the night. And she had a condo that she had recently moved into. Turned out it was built on top of an old convent. In the middle of the night, I felt somebody's presence. And I turned around. I was in the living room sleeping on the couch, and there was a doorway and stairs that went down to the garage. And I looked over, and there was a nun, clear as day, peeking around the corner. But the minute I looked at her directly, she vanished.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
I think if anyone's watching this who might be interested, I mean, they could look up Kirlian photography. That ties in perfectly.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot of aura stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
still, picture photography, picture phenomenon. It's pretty interesting stuff.
Right.
They actually use that to see the energy leave the bodies when people pass.
Mhm.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was watching this thing, like it's really actually kind of easy. Like you can like make this little frame looking thing yourself. You got to be careful so you don't like shock yourself or nothing. But like you can look through it and like it's like kind of like an x-ray thing for the aura. I don't know how else to explain it. It's like an x-ray for the aura. So you can look at someone through it if it's close enough to them and it'll show you, I think they call it the corona effect or something, like of your body releasing energy or something.
I'm the idiot that would end up with my spirit leaving through shock. I'd be trying to catch somebody else's and I'd be getting it. Colleen, do you have anything to say?
No, I think this has been a fun learning experience for all of us.
Forever students. Forever students.
Love it. Bring me more.
Lester, you got anything to say before we close?
Nope, sure don't.
Okay, Tiffany? I guess that means no. Oh, wait.
Oh, if we don't learn something new every day, life isn't worth living, is what she wrote. I have a feeling the kids are a little loud.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, that's so true. It's so true. And it's not always spiritual. And you know, I was telling everybody before we went on, I'm wearing a shirt that says "Be a nice human." I went out today and everybody was commenting, "Oh, that's a great shirt. That's a great shirt." And I'm like, "Oh, thank you, thank you." Well, let me tell you, I learned something new today because I learned how to be a nice human. Because everywhere I went, spirit was testing me, and somebody would have just said, "That's a nice shirt," right before something happened where I would want to just go, "Rah," and I'd be like, "Oh, wait, be a nice human." So spirit has always got a way to teach us something,
Yeah.
always, and gentle reminders, gentle reminders.
Oh,
So
on the way to church Sunday, Joe's father that's in spirit pops in on the way. And he says, "Oh, Joanne's going to ask you to get up and do messages at the church today." And I was like, "Oh, really?" So go to the church. Sure enough, service is over. And she says, "Tammy, do you want to give messages today?" Well, it was the first time that I've ever gotten up and done a group message thing.
oh, really? You haven't done platform before?
No, but I told her, I says, I knew this was coming. I already had the lowdown from spirit before I got here. And yeah, I'll get up and do it. And it went boom, boom, boom. And I was like, woohoo.
How exciting for you. How
Well, I was gonna
exciting.
say,
Congratulations.
yeah, just last week, weren't you just saying you were nervous about doing readings in person instead of over email?
Yep.
Good for you. There you
Yep.
go.
Oh, I'm so excited for
I
you.
can do them on Zoom, but I've never done it in person like
In
so.
person, yeah.
And
Cool.
platform mediumship,
It's
Colleen and I
amazing.
will tell
Yeah.
you, it takes a lot of cojones to get in front of a bunch of people and deliver messages. It really does. You know, especially the first time, the second time, the third time. After that, it kind of, you know, you kind of get into the groove and go ahead, Colleen.
There's an energy about it, and platform is a little different than doing like a one-on-one because you've got to keep the energy of everybody focused. So there's an element of entertainment to it, but yet you still have to keep the energy going. And that's that balance. And it's fun once you figure out the balance.
And
Well,
see,
I
this
just
is
knew spirit asked me to jump and I jumped. But I'll tell you what, my right away, the vibration in my body went to like beyond sky level. I was like, shh. My heart was beating out of my chest like crazy. And it wasn't fear, it was the energy. It was just all the
Right.
energy that, like you say, Colleen, that I was having to deal with. But I was so happy that spirit let me know ahead of time rather than Joanne just calling me out, you know, because I
Well, and the
snickered
one
when
thing,
she said it.
when you're feeling that energy and it's too much, know that if you step back a foot to the left, to the right, or forward a foot, it will change that vibration and ease it up on you.
And see, this is what's amazing is that we all work differently. Like when I do platform, I don't even think about the people. I don't even really, I mean, I know they're there and I see them, but I really don't, if that makes sense. My energy is all focused at the gate, my gatekeeper that you saw, the one that raised me, because I'll tell you guys this quick story and then we'll go ahead and close out. I was in Lilydale one year and I was watching for that year, I was watching for the calendar to come out and watching and watching. And I noticed that Lisa Williams and Sharon Klingler were teaching a class on advanced intensive mediumship. That's my class.
Mhm.
I'm taking that one this year. Well, you know, spirit works in amazing ways because I never saw advanced intensive platform mediumship. Like platform was like not there when I read it. And so
And I was in that same class.
yep, and I was probably the first person that paid for that class because I was watching. I got to Lilydale and I was in the middle of a fire walk at that time. I was, you know, going through spiritual growth. And I was there a few days actually. And right before the night before, I'm like, oh, well, let me get into the calendar and see where my class is and what time. So I'm not late and, you know, what have you. All of a sudden, platform was now there. Now, you want to talk about somebody that felt like they wanted to have a nervous breakdown? I don't want to do platform mediumship. I never wanted to do platform mediumship. What am I going to? Well, I guess I'm going to have to do it. They don't do refunds. I'm here. Oh my God, I had the best time.
Well, your necklace broke.
Yes, my medicine bag had a bunch of labradorite and Herkimer diamonds that were on it. And I got up to do a reading and they exploded all over the assembly hall.
It was everywhere. There were beads everywhere.
That was the
And
crystals taking a hit for you.
And Lisa Williams, in her typical British way, just went, see, you don't need that anymore.
And
just
people,
leave it. You don't need it.
and Colleen was telling me that people were finding Herkimer diamonds for weeks. But yeah, it's amazing how we all work differently. And I find it fascinating because I stop and I think about it at times and I think, you know, if we all worked the same way, it would be so boring. It would be boring. The trick is for all of us to stop judging how the other one works because, you know, it's like I tell people all the time. If somebody is doing something they're not supposed to be doing or they're doing it inappropriately, spirit's going to take care of that on its own.
Yeah.
We don't need to worry ourselves about that. So let's be open to the way other people work and let them do what works for them. So with that, I'm going to ask one more time if anybody has anything left to say, because that was a whole nother like scenario.
Bonus trip. It was a bonus track.
So if anybody has anything to say, please do, and then we'll close. Because I know either Colleen or Tammy has something to say about judging the way other people work.
Yeah, I do.
Have at it, sweetheart.
Well, Tammy helped me get over somebody judging how I worked.
You know, that's just it. You know, you can read all the books in the world. When it comes right down to it, they all end up sounding the same. That you have to find your own way, your own experiences. And when you judge somebody else, and especially if that message is for you, you're collapsing all your possibilities. You're putting limitations on whatever is going to come through. And you just need to be open and receptive to everything. if after the fact you had a problem, just, you know, it doesn't make any difference. I think that when people have a certain outcome that they're expecting, rather than just going in open-minded or something like that, that it collapses all other possibilities of them getting a very good reading. And
I
if
agree.
anything, mediums need to stand next to each other. We're
Yes.
unique
Yes.
individual, and we need to support each other, and we need to boost each other up.
And we need to
And
not be jealous or insecure of one another.
why would you? I mean, that's silly. If you
Well,
think of
it's
yourself
also,
as your own unique being and you don't want anybody else judging you, why would you judge another person? You know?
I'm gonna just say this. We just need to let it be. And if you let things just be, they play out.
Exactly. Spirit will
And
take
it's
care of
very
whatever it
hard
needs
to
to.
step back because we're human. This is what humans do. They want to fix it. They want to make it perfect. And sometimes you just have to let it be.
Well, that's what I tell myself when I do, like when I got up to do that, you know, gallery read or whatever you want to call it, just is spirit's in charge. I'm just the puppet here. I'm just the one that steps aside and lets the energy flow out my mouth. And it's gotten to the point where I'm not afraid anymore. I'm not afraid to do, you know, if a month ago, if somebody would have said without any warning for me from spirit, Tammy, come up and give messages, I'd have been
Oh, no, not me. Not today. I'm not feeling good.
Exactly. But you know, spirit always moves you out of your comfort zone so you can grow and you can learn. And if you trust spirit and spirit has your back, you don't have to worry about what comes out because spirit's in charge. Period.
Amen. Amen. Oh yeah. I mean, beforehand, that's when you would have stood up and go, "Oh, not me. I'm having problems with my bowels today. As a matter of fact, I have to go to the bathroom right now.
Right.
Goodbye." Oh, so with that said, I think it's okay that we notice that somebody works different from us, as long as we're not judging it and we're not saying they don't do it right, or they're not authentic, or they're not this, or they're not that, because you don't know. You don't know how spirit is working through them. So I think we've kind of switched on a different note, but I'm going to end it with, you know what? Be respectful of other mediums, be kind. There's enough work for everybody. And if we all come together, it would be such a powerful united force that would just be amazing to see. And with that, I'm going to say good night, everybody. Have an amazing week. May your week be as amazing as you.
Night.
Night.